Hey folks, on this episode of the Buy Back Your Life show, it's me, Andrew Ferguson, coming at you for the entire episode, breaking it down and going over the one thing that will impact your life far greater than anything else. And I wanted to share some examples with you guys. I've been reading some really interesting books lately and just wanted to kind of share this common theme that keeps going around, keeps coming up that has really impacted my life, share some stories about that as well with you guys, and just get you hopefully to understand this concept a little bit better here today. If you guys do want to get a hold of me, chat about it more after the episode's done, you can get at me at andrew@tradingoptionsdaily.com. Other than that, hope you enjoy the show. Let's get into it. Okay, so today we're talking about this one thing, this one huge thing that's going to impact your life more than anything else. And this took me far too long to realize. And I had seen it come up in different kind of personal development books and different finance books and just kind of books that would help you kind of get to where you want to go, and different kind of gurus are talking about this thing as well. And it was a process for me. I didn't understand. It sounded too like kind of made up or kind of fake. And then when I actually took a step back and said, you know what, this thing keeps coming up here and there, and like this spot and this spot, this person says it too, and they're super successful, and this person says it too, and they're super successful. So maybe it is a real thing. Maybe I have to try this. And then once I did this thing, it just kind of my success and like what I wanted to achieve started becoming real and started happening more. And I think a little bit of this it's going to attribute down to my childhood, just my nature as a competitive person. But this one thing is just a factor that has played such a huge role in my life that I wanted to share this with you guys today, because I've been reading this book lately. It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and it's by Robin Sharma. If you haven't read it, definitely jump into this one. It's amazing. It's an amazing read. He also wrote The 5 a.m. Club, but there's just a ton of books around how you can use your mind to help you understand things and to help you achieve things in life, and just becoming a master of your thoughts. And for me, when I set out with my goals of becoming an investor and like retiring on my terms before the age of 40, my original goal was to retire by 40. And that's back when I had my first pension statement at my old engineering company. I was just totally dejected when I saw that statement and said, maybe in 40 years you can retire, maybe you'll have enough to survive on, maybe not. And I was like, I just had to take different action. As when you guys know, I decided to start investing, and that drove me into the personal finance books, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, David Chilton, The Wealthy Barber, and so on and so forth. Dan Sullivan, into the world of online marketing and what I'm doing now, stock investing, real estate investing, crypto, all this stuff. Okay, it was a catalyst moment from when I had that kind of gut punch where I said I have to take control of my future, and no one else is going to do it better than you. So you go and you jump and do it. But then I was at the point where I wanted to do something. I wanted to make a change, but I didn't know how. Okay. And this was back in like 2013, 2014. And I just bought my first house out of necessity with my friend who was renting from me, which is awesome. Like, it was coming in for cash flow, and that was good. And I was getting a taste of what like having this little side hustle could do. But I didn't really understand this concept of how your mind can kind of put you further ahead in life. So I needed to break that down. And then in all the books I was reading at the time, and all the mentors that I was like listening to, I was listening to these two guys. They run Rockstar Real Estate Brokerage out in Oakville, Ontario. Tom and Nick Karadza. They're amazing, inspirational dudes, business savants, and they have this kind of energy and this positivity around them all the time. And like they even said, like, hey man, this is the biggest thing. It's like your mindset will determine everything for you. And I didn't understand that, and it took me a while to kind of have that kind of fester and grow inside my own mind. Just like, what are they talking about here? Like, why is this book? Why are these guys? Why does everybody still keep talking about your mindset and how this mindset thing is so important? Well, like I said, it took some time, but eventually I understood, and I've come to understand like your mindset. And stay with me here if it sounds a little bit like kind of left field. Like when you think about things, this is how it works. When you think about things in your mind, that's the first place where like these ideas kind of manifest themselves. And like our days are busy, and like we're going through things all day long, like thoughts are popping into our head all the time, right? When we can kind of focus and just kind of take even 5-10 minutes and just singularly focus on one thing that we want, we will start to kind of take steps in the real physical world to achieve that thing. And this for me, it was to become an investor and to figure out ways to kind of secure my financial future. But more recently, it's been in an effort to lose weight and get healthier, and even improve some personal relationships with other people, and just whatever you're chasing in life, whatever you want. When you have this idea in your head first about how it looks and how it feels to you, you can then go and drive and chase it, and you start taking steps to get there. So for me, for an example, I'm going to break down like different kind of ways that you guys can kind of do this yourself. But for me, when I started wanting to become an investor and I started with real estate, I didn't know anything. I had no experience in real estate whatsoever, but I had this goal, right? I had this idea in my head of retiring by 40. And the more like tangible and real you can kind of make this energy in your mind, the bigger the goal is going to be and the easier it's going to achieve in real life. Okay. So you make your goal. And my goal at the time was I wanted to retire by 40. I wanted to have a cottage in Muskoka with my wife, Sarah, and retire there with her and just live our lives. Okay. And to make it a little bit more realistic for myself, I imagined I would wake up in the morning. There'd be no alarm clock. It would just be me waking up when I was fully rested, whenever I wanted to get up, and I would get up and then I would go make a coffee or a tea for Sarah in our little like kind of thing in our room. And we'd go back on like the extended deck off our room and we'd open up the deck and we'd gotta go sit out there and we'd have like a water view on the lake. And you can kind of smell the water and the air outside. It's just in the forest. And like you can kind of touch and feel what's going on in this idea in my head. And it made it that much more realistic for me. So the more like powerful and more actual like vivid you can make this kind of idea that you're going to chase and you want, the easier it's going to translate. And then after I had that goal and that vision, it was so funny. Like as soon as I had that and I like wrote that down on a piece of paper as well and put up it in my room on the wall, I had it in my mind. I had it visually. I look at it every morning. And I just, when you have that thing in your mind, it's so prevalent all the time, you will just remember like, oh man, I should do this because of this. And it just, the goal sits there and what you're working for sits in the back of your mind and you start doing things to achieve that thing. Okay. Does that make sense? Like when I had this goal, I put it in my head, I described it in detail, in vivid detail, like the touch, the smell, the feel, what it looked like. Okay. It was all there, wrote it down as well, on a piece of paper, stuck it on my wall so I could see it every day. I was thinking about it. I was seeing it. And then just the way it works is that once you do these things, you will start to take actions to achieve those goals. So again, if it's investing, if it's finance related, if it's doing better at work, if it's having better relationship with people that you love, make a goal, weight loss, health, diet, whatever it is, make a goal, write it down, describe it in as much detail as you possibly can. Look at it every day. This will go so far and put you on just the amazing, and I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's so crazy. I'm kind of going back and just kind of rehashing, but it is so crazy. I didn't believe myself until I went through it and it actually works. It's just the way the mind works. You have this idea, okay? The first time like an idea, ideas are created twice. This is what Robin Sharma was talking about in his book a little bit. They're created twice, okay? The first time the idea is created in our minds and then it is recreated again in the physical world based on the actions that we take. So once I had my vision of what I wanted to achieve, things shifted for me priority-wise in my life. I didn't want to go spend money on buying different things because I wanted to kind of save up to go invest in a property because I wanted to learn how to do this. And I was learning and buying books and I was investing more education in myself. And like all these things were aligning with that goal. But if you never set that one goal, or if you set that goal too small, then you're never going to have a chance to get there. Okay. Like this all comes back to like being imaginative and just having crazy wild dreams in your mind first. That's where the first idea is going to manifest, right? So if you have this idea or this desire or this dream, okay, and you like having that number one in your mind is like the first step. And because you have this idea, then you have, if you're able to think about this idea, then you definitely have the corresponding like capacity to go and make it happen. Because step one is thinking about it, like imagining it. So in all the things that I'm reading, like it's like imagination and dreaming big is so much more important than the actual like having the knowledge. Like if you can just put this idea together in your mind, that gives you such an incredible advantage over anyone else who's just sitting there saying it can't be done in my mind, then it can't be done in life. Okay, maybe you guys have heard of Henry Ford. He's got the quote: "If you think you can or can't, you're right," and it is 100% the truth. If in your mind you say you cannot do something, there is no way in the real world you'll be able to do this thing. And this doesn't go for like little things like, okay, just driving myself to work or other things like that. Like I'm talking about goals you want to achieve. If you don't think you can actually do it, you don't believe it in your head, then it's not going to happen in your life. You have to first have the thought, have the positive thought, and that will then transcend into the real world for you as long as you put in the work to chase it and you keep it top of mind. Okay, that's how this thing works. So again, like this is just the craziest kind of thing. And reading this book just kind of piqued my interest. I was having like one of those days last week. My wife Sarah's out of town right now in Nashville. Just one of those days where your mind's kind of wandering a little bit, and if you let it kind of wander too far, it kind of goes into it. There's out of necessity, like we have. I think we're all kind of pessimistic. Out of like as that's like the starting mode for people. Is like we're pessimistic, And thoughts kind of go negative if you let them kind of wander. So you have to kind of fill your head with good thoughts all the time. And one of the things that I like to do is to read books or to watch inspirational videos, but most of the time it's books or podcasts. And I do that, and it kind of gets me back on track and it recharges me. So I was reading this book, and before Sarah left, and now I was reading it again, just kind of going through some pages, and just hit me. I was like, I have to share this message this week on the podcast because it's that important. Okay. And like I said, my mind was wandering a little bit. It was kind of going to a place where it wasn't the most positive. And I was like, okay, let's change this up. Let's kind of go back, dive into a resource, get back on track. And the craziest thing is that when you can control your thoughts, you can pick yourself out of any situation in life. Like, number one, you can chase these goals. Another thing that you can do is just, if you're having a bad day, something happens, like you can just kind of, it's like a slide projector, like the old school ones, right? When you have a little thing in your hand and it goes, and like the slide deck rotates, and then the next slide comes on. And then if something else you don't like, just go, and you can kind of go positive again. And you can change what's in your mind. And then again, that correspondingly will change and impact what you're doing in your life day to day. So if you guys are having a day where things are down, things aren't going your way, click the slide projector, okay? Move it on to the next slide. Think of something happy, something that you're excited about. Think about that goal that you might have, and just keep working towards that. And you will see a crazy amount of difference in your day. If you can just kind of remember, like, just boom, slide projector, next slide, not good. Keep switching slides till it's a positive thing, and then run with that slide until you need the next one. Keep going through it, keep switching up, okay? So these are the kind of the things I wanted to share today. And the other thing I want to talk about is also the fact that you have a choice, and like, we have to guard our minds and guard our thoughts, because as I've said, like, your thoughts become reality in the real world, okay? And if you can't guard your mind, it becomes very hard to avoid distractions. And there are so many things in the world that we kind of tend to worry about as human beings. And there's so many people that seem consumed, or like kind of always thinking about, or they're always worrying about things that are needless to worry about. And this is a drain. This is like an energy kind of drain. It's a leak. Okay. If you're going through life and you're riding on a bicycle, this is one of the things that Robin Sharma teaches as well. If you're riding a bicycle and you're going down this track, okay, and you're going down the road, let's say, and you're on this bike, and you ended up like hitting a nail, and you have a puncture in your tire, and your tire's leaking a little bit of air. Eventually, all the air in your tire is going to go, okay? And if you don't have a pump on hand, or you can't tape up that hole, then it's going to leak out and your air is gone. Then you can't use the bike, and it's usually you can't go down the road any further, right? That is the exact same concept in life, okay? There are events, there are people, there are just so many things that we have to protect our mind from. And your mind is like, and your thoughts is the bike in this situation scenario, okay? Your mind is the bike, and anything that else kind of bring us down or put us in a negative kind of frame of mind is trying to sap our energy or take the air out of our tires. So we have to put up walls and almost put like a guard around our bikes, or just not drive it down that road where all the nails and glass are. We have to kind of go down the other road where it's a smooth asphalt paved. There's nothing that's going to be jabbing in our tires, taking our energy away, taking away our focus and our time, and just sapping us of that energy. So you have to be able to do that. And one of the ways is to just kind of avoid those situations, avoid those people, okay, that are taking away and draining energy from your life. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but if you can kind of guard your mind and guard your thoughts, and just surround yourself with people that build you up and impact your life in a positive way, and add air to your tires and give you energy, right? Your bike's always full, you're maxed, so you're going to have a way easier drive, and you're going to be able to be successful in life. I'm sure everybody that's listening to this, whoever's out there listening to this, you have a friend, or maybe yourself, or like somebody you know, just always seems to be having a positive experience or a positive day. They're always in a good mood. Things always work out for them, okay? This is not by accident. Like, this is not an accidental thing. It's because they have the ability to focus on the positive and always react in a positive way to whatever's around them. They also remove a lot of the negative, a lot of the energy drains, and that bike is pointed to where they want to go, and they're on that road, and they're chasing their dreams, right? Okay. They're not worried. They're not consumed by worry and doubt. They're just protecting their wheels on their bike, and they're heading towards that goal, and they're putting the blinders on, just kind of focusing what they need to do to get where they want to go. And that gives them passion, excitement. That's who's not excited doing that. Like, if you go and you're working for your goal you really, really want, you have this big, awesome, amazing goal that you're going to hit by this date, and you know exactly what's going to feel like. It's going to be amazing. And you're putting all your energy and focus into that. How are you not in a good mood? How are you not seeing the positive in everything, right? That's the kind of life you want to live and be in. And it takes work to get there. And it takes work to train your mind how to kind of block these other things out. But it's totally possible. And for myself, a lot of the times, what I had to do at the beginning was just if I was talking to other people, I kind of had to not talk about investing all the time at the beginning, because some people didn't understand, or some people wanted to kind of cut me down and say, hey, it's not going to work out. And just, what are you doing? Like, you're wasting your time. And that kind of stuff drains your energy. And it's like, you need to find your kind of group that will kind of lift you up. And that might be a group on Facebook, that might be a group via text message or WhatsApp, whatever it might be, a group where you go and you kind of meet other people, like a networking kind of group in real life. And I find, like, when you can align yourself with people who have similar goals, the energy kind of flows throughout the room. Okay. If you're in a room with 10 people, you're all kind of working towards becoming healthier through exercise and diet. Well, you guys have similar interests. You guys are kind of on the same road. That's now that instead of just having you and a bike down this road, you have a bunch of people. And do you think it's going to be easier if there's a pack of you guys all doing the same thing, all on that journey together? Absolutely, it's going to be easier, right? So that's where you need to kind of figure out, where does that kind of group exist? Maybe you're a new parent, you're looking for some tips on parenting. Well, go find other people who are in the same position as you, that want the same things you, like to be a great parent, and go get better at it. Like, this is how it can work for you as well. And just focus on the positive, right? Like, if you have a choice in life, when something happens to you, you have a choice to react positively to it, and you have the choice to react negatively to it. And a lot of people think that it's not the case. Like, if something bad happens to you, you have to look at it negatively. That's not the case at all. Like, when you can focus your thoughts and you can see things, and things are going to happen in life. Okay. Things happen in life that you don't want to happen to you. And it's just the way it goes. And you got to get through it. You got to kind of do your best to work through it and make your peace with it, and then kind of find the positive, right? So if you can do that and find the positive in a crappy situation, and there's, like I said, tons of them in life that are going to happen, but the more comfortable you get at doing that, and the quicker that you can make that kind of change, and use the slide projector to go next slide and kind of move on and see what the positive is, the better off you're going to be, the faster you're going to get to your goals, and the bigger your goals hopefully will be. Once you kind of get to those first goals, you kind of stack goals on top of them and on top of them and on top of them. And eventually you'll be able to achieve great things, because you've achieved these kind of big wins at the time, but then they become kind of small wins in your rear view. It's like going through on this bike, you're going through past checkpoint 10 kilometers. And now 10 kilometers seems like nothing. Now you're on 20, now you're on 100, now you're on 2000. You're just looking back like, oh man, I went all this way. That was easy. Let's go get the next goal, right? So when you're thinking about things that happen to you in life, focus on the positive, and then try to see the good thing that happened from this. Like, don't think about the negative or the worry, and don't let the energy be drained from you when it happens, because this is the hardest one for me, because things happen like almost not daily, but there's different things that kind of pull your energy away from you all the time. And you have to kind of block those things out and only focus on the positive, because it will take you and uplift you and keep you kind of moving in the right direction. Okay. So a couple other quotes for you guys here that I wanted to kind of drop. And like this concept of your mental kind of power, it's talked about at length in lots of different books. And it's I know it sounds wishy-washy. It sounds like it's not a real thing, but I can't explain to you any better than just, if you give it a chance and you do it and you work at it, you will see results. That's how it works. And I can't explain it any other way than that. And it sounded weird for me too at the beginning, but once I actually gave it a chance and it started to grow and manifest in my mind, and I saw results from it in the real world, it like a switch kind of flipped, and I got it and understood it. And I could keep then kind of using it and kind of getting bigger and bigger wins in my life. So one more quote from the book, maybe you've heard of it, Think and Grow Rich, from Napoleon Hill. Okay. And same thing as what Robin Sharma was talking about. His quote is, the starting point of all achievement is desire. Okay. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire makes a small amount of heat. So if we don't have these big, lofty, huge, crazy goals, and we just have these very small, minimal things that we know we can accomplish, that we've accomplished before, maybe, we're not going to get there. We're not going to achieve these crazy big things that we want in life. We're going to get these little kind of weak results in a small fire. We want to have these huge, large bonfires that burn and give us all the warmth that we could ever want, right? And then share that warmth with other people and just pass this around and teach others how to do the same thing. We want the big fire, big amount of heat, big, huge desires that start in our minds first. We concentrate and focus on that singular purpose, right? And when you can do that, then the gifts are going to start appearing in your life. The success can start appearing in your life. The extraordinary moments will start appearing in your life if you first think about it, imagine it, go make it happen. Okay. And one other thing by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich as well. Happiness is found in doing, not merely in possessing. And this is one that really like makes so much sense to me. Like I found as I kind of had a little bit of success in the real estate game and then in the stock market, it's about the experience and learning for me. And I feel like I'm at my best when I'm learning something new, when I'm going and getting new information and like realizing how the kind of the pieces of it all kind of piece together. And it gets me kind of fired up in the morning, goes, hey, what can I learn today? What can I get better at today? That 1% level better to get me to my final end goal. Okay. It's not about buying this or buying that or having this or controlling that. It's about working towards that goal and like refining your process and putting in that work. Like if you work 30 years for something, that's all you ever wanted. Like that's your true passion in life and you finally achieve it. That's such a sweet success compared to getting it in 1 year with a really small goal, with a small fire. Imagine how big that fire is going to burn if you get something over 30 years done that you just kind of imagine one day that would be awesome to do. And that's like your actual passion. That'd be a crazy achievement, right? You can look back on that with pride and just realize that it was an all idea at the beginning. And the fact that you had that idea or that desire is what kickstarted everything in your mind and kind of got you on the road to higher achievement. So I know this is a really short episode today, and I wanted to just get something out this week and just, this was top of my mind. Like I had to like, just, it was like exploding out of my mind to say, hey, someone has to hear this. Someone needs to hear this. So this is you, and you want to kind of connect or just ever kind of drop me a line, feel free to do so. Would love to connect with anybody who listens to the show. And just remember, like, imagination is more important than knowledge. If you can believe it, if you can kind of get your mind on board with it, you will have so much more ambition and goal and purpose and drive in life to go get those things done. But imagine it first, okay? Then put it into reality. And then after that, protect yourself. Don't let the air leak out from the bike, okay? Keep it positive all the time. You choose how you respond to any situation in life, and keep that slide projector on the back of your mind. If you need it, if you have something that's bad happen to you, click the slide. Next moment, hopefully it's positive. It's not, keep going till it is. Positivity, uplift, start in the mind. It happens in real life. And then once you have your fire burning super hot and you've achieved your massive goals, make sure you share the warmth with others. It's not about just us in this world. It's about giving what we have and teaching others how to be successful as well. I really hope you guys got something of value out of this. Again, short episode this week, but super important topic. Again, if you want book recommendations, anything, shoot me an email, Andrew@tradingoptionsdaily.com. We'd love to connect with other like-minded individuals who are on this kind of path to greater purpose in life, self-improvement, building something for themselves or their family, or for other people. Would love to connect with you, hear from you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys on the next one. Keep working to buy back your life.